Dandadan, anime romance done right. Have you ever wanted a love story that feels real, raw, and more than just those will they, won't they cliches? In a world where most anime romances are overly idealistic or painfully slow, Dandadan shatters the mold. It's not just another romance tacked onto an action plot. It's an authentic journey filled with quirky moments, tension, and genuine emotion. If you've ever experienced a confusing, chaotic crush, this one will resonate. So, why does Dandadan's romance hit so close to home? And what makes it one of the most relatable love stories in anime right now? Let's dive in. In Dandadan, romance isn't spoon-fed or idealized. It's a gradual journey that evolves from friendship to something deeper. Momo Ayase, the bold, outspoken female lead, crosses paths with Ken Takakura, a more reserved, timid character. Unlike your classic opposites attract scenario, Dandadan handles their differences realistically. There's no instant spark or dramatic confession. Instead, we watch two people who likely ignore each other in typical circumstances grow close due to a series of bizarre encounters, like facing aliens and ghosts together. Early in the anime, Momo and Ken are brought together not by a romantic trope, but by their shared interest in the supernatural, though with opposing views. Momo believes in ghosts but not aliens, while Ken believes in aliens but not ghosts. Their quirky debate over which paranormal activity is real sets the stage for their relationship dynamic, giving the audience a chance to see them as two genuinely unique individuals rather than typical romantic leads. It's funny, a little weird, and totally genuine. Over time, these differences create opportunities for growth and connection. Unlike most anime romances where characters just fall into attraction, Momo and Ken's relationship builds gradually, with each experience strengthening their bond in believable ways. This progression gives viewers the feeling that their connection isn't just forced into the plot, but is naturally evolving in response to their shared adventures. The realism in their romance. Dandadan takes a truly refreshing approach to romance by showing how real relationships often unfold, not through grand gestures, but through subtle shifts in feelings. The characters experience small moments of connection, confusion, and even jealousy, which come across as incredibly relatable. It's easy to see parts of our own experiences in their hesitations, insecurities, and gradual understanding of each other. One moment that highlights this is when Momo begins to feel jealousy over Ken interacting with other girls. She isn't even fully aware of her own feelings yet, but her reactions are telling. She's confused by her own emotions, leading to a hilariously awkward attempt to act indifferent. This scene resonates with anyone who's felt the beginnings of a crush but isn't sure how to process it. It's not a dramatic, all-consuming love at first sight. It's more like a quiet, creeping realization that's equal parts exciting and embarrassing. Their journey also includes moments of vulnerability that come through in unguarded, everyday actions. For instance, when Momo sees Ken struggle with his self-esteem, she becomes fiercely supportive, recognizing something in him that he doesn't even see himself. Unlike the trope of saving someone, her support is realistic, smart but impactful, much like how real-life relationships can help us see the best in ourselves. This realism makes their relationship feel refreshingly authentic and grounds their romance in a way that feels relatable to the audience. It's as if the story is saying, here's what love really feels like. Not perfect, not flashy, but raw, gradual, and meaningful. Comparing with traditional anime romances. Unlike many anime stories that rely on worn-out romance tropes, Dandadan takes a more grounded approach. A lot of anime couples rely on cliched moments like endless misunderstandings or improbable coincidental encounters to push the romance forward. Dandadan is different. The romance between Momo and Ken develops through experiences, shared challenges, and mutual respect rather than forced, overly dramatized scenarios. In a memorable scene, Momo and Ken face a truly terrifying supernatural entity together, relying on each other's strengths to get through. This isn't a traditional damsel in distress moment. Instead, they're both equally vulnerable and supportive of each other. They aren't simply learning to trust one another, they're learning about each other in ways that feel natural. This stands in stark contrast to the typical anime trope, where one character's admiration or saving the other becomes the basis of the romance. Their bond grows from the genuine teamwork and respect that develop as they navigate life-threatening situations side by side. Another point of distinction is how Dandadan avoids dragging out confessions or lingering in a perpetual state of will they, won't they. Instead, it's more about the subtle, often silent cues that slowly bring them closer together. Their romance doesn't interrupt the story, it complements it, adding depth without overshadowing the supernatural action or comedic elements. By comparison, a lot of romance-driven anime tend to stall emotional growth, stretching out moments of realization, or dragging out relationship progression for several seasons. But in Dandadan, the story flows naturally alongside their friendship. The story flows naturally alongside the relationship, keeping it engaging and immersive for the audience. The role of humor and quirkiness. One of Dandadan's greatest strengths lies in how it uses humor to make romance feel fresh and engaging. Momo and Ken find themselves in wildly absurd situations, from battling extraterrestrial beings to running from ghosts. These supernatural encounters force them to rely on each other in chaotic scenarios, and the resulting humor deepens their bond in unexpected ways. Rather than relying on fan service moments or dramatic confessions, Dandadan uses comedy to explore the developing feelings in a lighthearted yet meaningful way. In one scene, Momo and Ken are caught in a wildly bizarre situation involving supernatural forces. As they scramble to deal with their chaos, their genuine reactions, ranging from panic to bickering, reveal just how comfortable they're becoming around each other. The humor here isn't just for laughs. It reflects how real relationships often involve moments of silliness and playful arguments, making their dynamic feel organic and relatable. Their banter and misunderstandings, often stemming from their own quirks and insecurities, lead to some of the most endearing moments in the story. Instead of creating tension or frustration, these comedic elements make their romance feel all the more authentic, as if the audience is watching two real people figure out their own feelings in the midst of chaos. Dandadan isn't just a romance anime. It's a love story that mirrors real-life experiences with refreshing honesty. Momo and Ken's journey is all about small, imperfect steps rather than dramatic gestures. It's a romance that celebrates everyday interactions, quiet realizations, and the shared laughter of two people who are just a little weird and totally perfect for each other. By breaking away from the typical anime romance formula, Dandadan has created something that resonates with everyone who's ever felt the thrill, the confusion, and joy of falling in love in their own messy way. If you're looking for a romance that feels both real and relatable, Dandadan delivers in every way. So give it a shot and get ready to fall in love with one of anime's most genuine couples.